I'm a senior in high school, working 2 jobs and trying my best to manage, but I'm not managing well. I'm overwhelmed, exhausted, and not tending to my own personal issues outside of school and work. I'm already exhausted as I clock in at the coffee shop where I work. I didn't get much sleep last night. My period is heavy and I'm having severe cramping. I desperately try to chug along, despite the pain and excessive bleeding. Before I know it, the pain catches up with me. Everything goes black and I start to lose grip on reality. I faint while in the middle of helping a customer. As I come to, I lay on the cold floor, scared and confused, and bleeding from a crack in my head. I am so embarrassed. There's coffee and blood everywhere. My coworkers call my dad and 911, and I'm brought to the hospital. As my dad rushes me to the ambulance, I think, what just happened to me? I don't have a good frame of reference for what I've just experienced because nobody properly taught me about how my period can affect my body. Looking back now, there were many warning signs leading up to this moment. Like when I was 12 years old and on my period and in excruciating pain. I only just started getting my period last year. Nobody taught me about the physical pain that comes with it. I certainly didn't learn anything when my teachers gathered me and my other prepubescent classmates to watch the video last year. No, that just made us all feel even more awkward because the teachers had such weird vibes about it and the boys kept making jokes after they returned from watching their video, which didn't even mention periods. And I'm home alone. My mom works 2 jobs, so she's not around much, and my dad doesn't know anything about periods. And even if he did, they make him very uncomfortable, so he doesn't talk about them. Ever since I started my period, I've had a heavy flow and pain that was so bad it would keep me up at night. I've tried everything to relieve the pain. Painkillers, homeopathic remedies. Even one time I made my mom and little brother walk on my back as I laid in the middle of the living room floor. All I can do is take some Midol, throw in a heating pad, and try my best to power through. It happens again in 10th grade biology class. My teacher looks at me in a panic. "You look pale," she says. "You need to go to the nurse." This is my first time of many when my period would affect my schooling. I get used to having to leave early and staying home from school entirely due to the pain. Now, in the ambulance, I look back at all these moments where my heavy flow has caused me stress and pain, while I throw up into a bucket due to the concussion I just suffered. The EMTs are sweet and kind as they try to help me. I'm scared, but I finally feel like I'm being taken care of. I feel like I'm being listened to. My best friends and family come to stay with me at the hospital. The doctors run every kind of test and keep me overnight to continue to monitor me and get to the bottom of what's going on. As I sleeplessly listen to the hospital machines beep, beep, beep all night long, I look over at my mom, who was sleeping in a chair next to me. I can't help but think, why wasn't I prepared for this? The first time I got to my period, much to my dismay, my mom celebrated it. It was a summer day, and I was devastated to see the brown stain in my underwear. "I don't want to get my period," I told her. "I'm not ready." My mom starts calling all of my relatives, exclaiming with joy, "My daughter's a woman now." My mom is crying too, but hers are tears of joy. She's not seeing me or acknowledging what I'm going through. She doesn't teach me about the different ways my period can affect my body, and she doesn't mention to me until I'm much, much older that she used to have the same type of pain when she was a kid. I guess it takes me cracking my head open to get any answers, but I finally get them. The next morning, the doctor gives me the prognosis. I'm losing way too much blood from my period, and the pain is causing my body to be exhausted. I'm offered the option to go on birth control to help regulate my periods, which will help regulate the bleeding and the pain. I'm so relieved to finally have answers and something that can actually help. Before I fainted, I never even thought about birth control as an option. In my conservative household, birth control is linked to promiscuity, and my parents are against it, even if it is a life-changing menstrual tool. This is where I start my journey in advocating for more education around menstruation. I fight for myself and get on birth control, even though it opens me up to comments and judgments from my family. After a while, they start to see the amazing results as I improve. I am now able to have healthy, mild, and normal periods without any trips to the ER. It's hard for my family to argue because they love me and they're happy to see me getting better. Today, I am grateful to stand here as an adult with access to a gynecologist, a birth control prescription, and no more pain. These are issues I have not reflected on in years, but I'm happy to tell my story alongside students who are going to help make sure no one feels as helpless as I did when I was their age. Hopefully, if we are all as committed as these youth activists to ending period stigma, we can create a future where no one has to be unnecessarily hospitalized to receive proper period care ever again.